What do you mean you got married yesterday? The words burst out of my mouth before I could stop myself. My voice echoed through the living room, bouncing off the walls, but my son Daniel and the young woman standing beside him remained completely calm, almost too calm. I stared at them in disbelief. My heart pounded so loudly I could hear it in my ears. I felt as if the floor had slipped from beneath my feet. Just yesterday, I was his mother, the one who planned every birthday, every graduation, every milestone with care. And now, suddenly, he was a married man, and I wasn't even invited. "Mom," Daniel said quietly, rubbing the back of his neck the way he always did when he knew he'd done something wrong. I was going to tell you, it all happened fast." Fast? Fast doesn't even begin to describe it. Fast is burning your toast. Fast is missing a bus. Fast is not waking up in time for work. But marriage? A whole marriage? That's not fast. That's life-changing. My eyes moved to the girl beside him. She looked young, maybe 21 at most, with nervous fingers twisting the edge of her blouse. She wasn't wearing a bridal dress, of course, but she did have a delicate silver ring on her finger. Simple, cheap, and brand new. "I'm Anna," she whispered, barely audible. I nodded stiffly. I wanted to be polite, but my emotions were a storm. Hurt, confusion, anger, fear. Mostly hurt. "When is the wedding?" I'd asked, and she smiled softly and answered, "We got married yesterday." Yesterday. Without me. Without his father. Without his grandmother. Without anyone. I sank slowly into the couch, gripping the armrest as if it were the only thing keeping me upright. "Why?" I finally managed to say. "Why would you do this? Why would you get married without telling your own mother?" Daniel sat next to me, but I shifted slightly away without realizing it. He noticed. His face fell. "Mom, it wasn't because we didn't want you there." "Then what?" My voice cracked. What reason could possibly justify this? Anna swallowed hard. Her eyes glistened. "It's my fault. My family, they weren't going to allow it." I frowned. Not allow it? Why? She hesitated for a long moment before answering. "Because Daniel and I come from different worlds." Different worlds? I almost laughed. What did that even mean? Daniel sighed. "Mom, her father's very strict, very traditional. He didn't approve of me. He didn't want her to be with someone who isn't from their community," Anna finished quietly. I felt my anger soften just a little, replaced with a new feeling. Concern. "Did he hurt you?" I asked quickly. She shook her head. "No, but he controls everything. If he found out we planned to marry, he would have taken me away. He would have locked me in our home until I turned 25. Daniel nodded. "So we had to move fast." I exhaled. A long, heavy exhale. Elopements weren't new. But eloping without telling your own mother? That was something else. I leaned back and closed my eyes and tried to process everything. "Mom," Daniel said softly, "I love her and she loves me. We just didn't want to lose each other." I opened my eyes again. They were holding hands now. Despite my pain, a small part of me saw the sincerity in their faces, the fear, the determination, the desperation. "You should have told me," I repeated, my voice calmer but still trembling. "I know, Mom. I'm sorry." Silence filled the room. Then Anna slowly walked toward me. She kneeled beside my chair. "I know I should have met you properly. I know this isn't how a mother deserves to hear about her son's wedding, but please, don't hate me. I want to be part of your family. I want you to accept me." Her words, they pierced something inside me. I wasn't angry at her, not truly. I was angry at the situation, angry that I had been shut out from one of the biggest moments in my son's life. And then something unexpected happened. A memory surfaced. My own wedding. My mother wasn't there. Not because I didn't invite her, but because she refused to come. She didn't approve of my husband. She didn't approve of my choices. I had promised myself I would never be like her. Never. I looked at Anna's tearful face, and in that moment, the anger that had been burning inside me slowly cooled. "Anna, stand up," I said softly. She hesitated, then rose to her feet. I held her hands gently. "I don't hate you. I'm just hurt. But I believe you love my son, and if you truly do, then you're welcome here." Her tears fell freely, but this time they were tears of relief. Daniel let out a shaky breath. "Thank you, Mom," he whispered. But the storm wasn't over. There were still questions. Many questions. Why hadn't they called me immediately after the ceremony? Where were they planning to live? What would her family do once they found out? And could this sudden marriage survive the weight of everything happening around them? Little did I know. The real problems had not even begun yet. The marriage wasn't the shocking part, not compared to what I was about to learn later. A secret was hiding behind this rushed wedding. A secret that would shake our entire family.
The next morning, I woke up earlier than usual. My mind had barely rested the entire night. Daniel's sudden marriage, Anna's frightened eyes, their rushed decision, none of it was sitting right with me. I made breakfast for the three of us, trying to pretend everything was normal, but nothing was normal. Daniel came to the dining table first, looking exhausted. "You didn't sleep well, did you?" I asked. He shook his head. "Not really, and I couldn't sleep either." "Is she okay?" He hesitated. That hesitation told me everything. No, she wasn't okay. Anna walked in moments later, her hair messy, her eyes red, but she tried to smile politely. "Good morning," she whispered. "Sit, Beta," I said gently. "Eat something." She nodded and sat quietly. For a long time, none of us spoke. The silence felt heavy, like thick fog filling the room. Finally, I broke it. "Anna, what is your father going to do when he finds out?" Her spoon froze in midair. Daniel placed his hand on hers. "We were thinking, maybe we should move out before he finds her." "Move out?" My heart tightened again. "But why? This is Daniel's home. He grew up here, and you both are safe here." Anna slowly shook her head. "You don't know my father. He'll come looking for me, and when he doesn't find me at home, this will be the first place he checks." I felt a shiver run down my back. "Will he hurt you?" I asked. "No," she said quickly. "Not physically, but he will create a scene. He will threaten Daniel. He will force me to leave with him. He will not accept our marriage, ever." Daniel nodded grimly. "He's capable of anything when he's angry." I sighed deeply. This wasn't just a love story. This was a war between two worlds. "So what's the plan?" I asked. "We don't know yet," Daniel admitted, "but staying in one place is risky." Anna looked up with pleading eyes. "I don't want to bring trouble to your home." Those words hit me in a way she probably didn't expect. You are part of this home now. You didn't bring trouble. Trouble came because of circumstances, not because of you. She swallowed hard, fighting back tears. But just as the moment finally softened, suddenly, bang, bang, bang. Someone pounded on the front door, so loud, so aggressive, that the plates on the table rattled. Daniel and Anna both jumped to their feet. My heart froze. Daniel ran to the peephole and looked outside. His face turned pale instantly. "It's him," he whispered. "Who?" I asked. "My father," Anna breathed, her voice trembling. Before anyone could think, the pounding grew louder. "Open the door. I know she's inside." His voice thundered through the walls. Anna clasped her hands over her mouth, shaking violently. "Daniel," I whispered, "don't open it." He nodded, but Anna's father shouted again, even angrier this time. "Anna, come out right now. You disobeyed me. You will come home or I will—" He stopped mid-sentence, but the threat hung in the air like a blade. Daniel stepped closer to Anna protectively. I had never seen my son look so fierce. "Mom," Daniel whispered urgently, "call the police if he tries to break in." But before I could pick up the phone, the pounding stopped. Silence. A cold, terrifying silence. Daniel peeked again. "He's gone." Anna collapsed into the nearest chair, her legs trembling uncontrollably. "He won't stop," she whispered. "He will come back. He will try again. He will not let me live my own life." For the next hour, the house felt like a prison. Every shadow looked dangerous. Every passing car made Anna jump. Eventually, Daniel made a decision. "Mom, we're leaving today. We'll stay at my friend Leo's place for a few days." My throat tightened. I didn't want him to go, but I understood they needed safety. "Okay," I whispered, "but promise me you'll stay in touch." Anna grabbed my hand. "I'm sorry we're causing all this." "You're not causing anything. You're just trying to live. That's not a crime." They packed a few bags, and I watched them leave. Two scared, fragile young adults stepping into a world that was already trying to crush them. As the door closed behind them, I felt a deep ache in my chest. But something else was gnawing at me too. A strange instinct, a feeling that there was more to the story than they had told me. So I decided to do what any mother would do. I went to Anna's old neighborhood. I waited outside her home in my car. It wasn't long before I saw her father return. He slammed his car door, marched into the house, and moments later stormed out again with a box in his hand. He threw it into the trash can violently. Curiosity got the better of me. After he left, I walked to the trash bin and looked inside. The box was labeled, "Anna, medical reports and consultation letters." Medical? My stomach twisted. I reached in, grabbed the box, and took it back to my car. Inside were dozens of papers, and at the very top was a document that made my heart stop. A medical report, dated just 2 weeks ago, and on it, Anna's name. Under diagnosis, only one sentence was written. Patient advised immediate surgery within the next 8 to 10 weeks. My breath caught. Surgery? For what? Why didn't Daniel tell me? Why didn't Anna tell me? Was this why the marriage was rushed? Suddenly, everything made sense. The fear, the urgency, the elopement. And then my eyes fell on the doctor's notes at the bottom of the report. Delay may cause critical complications. A cold chill run down my spine. This wasn't just about love. This wasn't just about strict parents. This wasn't just about an elopement. There was a secret. A secret so big it could change everything. And I was the only one who now knew. I drove home with shaking hands, the box of medical reports sitting on the passenger seat like a bomb. My mind was racing. Surgery? 2 weeks ago? Critical complications? Why would Anna keep something so serious a secret? Why would Daniel hide it from me? By the time I reached home, I was trembling with worry. I set the box on the dining table and began reading through the documents one by one. Blood test results, ultrasound reports, consultation letters from different doctors. Then I found it, the report that explained everything. One line stood out. Ovarian cyst growth, large and complex. My heart dropped. A large ovarian cyst? At her age? I read further. Risk of torsion, risk of rupture. Patient advised immediate removal. My breath shivered in my chest. If untreated, it could be life-threatening. Suddenly, everything made painful sense. The rushed marriage, Anna's tears, the fear in Daniel's eyes, the urgency. It wasn't because they were foolish or impatient. It was because they were desperate. I felt guilt hit me like a tidal wave. Here I was, upset that they didn't involve me, while Anna was quietly fighting for her life. But then, a different thought struck me. If this was known for weeks, why didn't they go for the surgery? Why wait? Why risk it? I kept reading. In the doctor's notes, a sentence was circled. Financial approval required before scheduling surgery. Approval. Money. She didn't have the funds. My heart squeezed painfully. Anna came from a strict home, but also a poor one. Her father controlled everything, including money. Maybe he refused to pay. Maybe he didn't even know she was sick. Or maybe he didn't care. A deep anger started brewing inside me. No parent should let their child suffer like this. My thoughts were spinning when suddenly my phone buzzed. It was Daniel. "Mom, Anna fainted." My chest tightened. "What? Where are you?" "We're at Leo's apartment. She just collapsed. I think it's the cyst. I'm scared. Please come." "I'm on my way," I said and grabbed my keys. But before rushing out, I took one last look at the medical file and stuffed it into my bag. At Leo's place. When I arrived, Daniel was pacing outside, pale and sweating. "Where is she?" I asked. "She's in the bedroom. Leo called a doctor. He's checking her right now." We went inside immediately. Anna was lying on the bed, her face white as paper. Her breathing was fast and shallow. The doctor stood up when we entered. "You're her family?" he asked. "Yes," Daniel answered quickly. "Is she okay?" The doctor shook his head slowly. "She's stable for now, but she needs surgery urgently. I'm surprised she hasn't been admitted to a hospital already." "Money," I whispered. Daniel's eyes widened. "Mom." I pulled out the medical report. "I know everything," I said softly. "I found her papers." Daniel's shoulders slumped. He looked like a child caught doing something wrong. "We didn't want to burden you," he said quietly. "I didn't want you to think Anna was marrying me because of her situation. We wanted you to believe it was love." Tears filled Anna's eyes. She tried to sit up but winced. "I didn't want to be a responsibility," she whispered. "Your son already gave me courage. I didn't want to take more." My heart broke. "Anna," I said, kneeling beside her, "you are not a burden. You are family." She grabbed my hand weakly. Daniel sat on the other side of the bed, brushing Anna's hair gently. The doctor cleared his throat. "You have to decide fast. Rupture could happen any time." "We'll take care of it," I said firmly. "We will?" Daniel whispered in surprise. "Yes." I replied without hesitation. No more hiding, no more secrets. We're going to the hospital today. For the first time since I met her, Anna cried openly in my arms. The confrontation. As we prepared to leave for the hospital, suddenly there was furious knocking on Leo's door. Daniel froze. Anna squeezed my hand tightly. Leo peeked through the pee-hole. "It's him," he whispered. Her father. Again. "Open the door," he shouted. "Daniel, I know you're in there. You stole my daughter." Daniel clenched his fists. Before he could move, I stepped forward. "No one opens the door," I said sharply. Anna looked terrified. "He won't stop. He'll ruin everything." "He can shout," I said calmly, "but he won't touch you. Not while I'm here." More pounding, more shouting. "Anna, come home right now, or I swear—" I opened the door. Daniel gasped, "Mom!" But I kept my expression strong as steel. Anna's father stared at me with wild, angry eyes. "Where is she?" he barked. "She's safe," I said. "She is my daughter. And she is my daughter-in-law. And she is sick. Very sick." He blinked, confused. "What?" I held up the medical file. "You threw her reports in the trash. I don't know why, anger, shame, denial, but she needs surgery. Immediately." He stiffened. "I don't believe this." "You don't want to believe it, but that doesn't make it false." Anna weakly called from inside. "Papa!" He pushed past me, but Daniel blocked him. Anna's father looked at her, saw her pale face, her trembling body. A crack formed in his anger. You really are sick?" he whispered. Anna nodded weakly. "I didn't tell you because you would stop me from getting help. You never let me decide anything." His father's face fell, a mix of guilt and stubborn pride. "Let us take her to the hospital," I said. "This is not the time for anger." For a moment, he looked at all of us, confused, overwhelmed, lost. Then he whispered, I will come too." But Daniel shook his head. "No, not until you calm down. Anna needs peace." He wanted to argue, but something in him broke. He stepped aside. We hurried out, got Anna in the car, and rushed to the hospital. At the hospital, doctors immediately took Anna for tests and preparation. Daniel paced. I comforted him. Leo brought water. When Anna's father finally arrived at the hospital, he sat alone in a corner, silently crying. And for the first time, I didn't see a controlling man. I saw a scared father. But little did we know, something far more dangerous was about to happen inside that hospital. Something that would put Anna's life at risk again. The danger wasn't over. In fact, it was just beginning.
The hospital lights were painfully bright, and the hallways echoed with hurried footsteps and distant beeping. Anna had been taken inside for immediate evaluation, and every second felt like an hour. Daniel sat with his hands clasped tightly, his legs bouncing anxiously. I placed a hand on his shoulder. "She's strong," I whispered. "She'll come out of this." He nodded, but his eyes were filled with fear. Anna's father sat across the waiting room, elbows on his knees, head buried in his hands. Every once in a while, he would look up at the operation doors and sigh deeply. Guilt was slowly eating him alive, but he deserved to feel it. After nearly 40 minutes, a nurse walked toward us. "Family of Anna?" We all jumped to our feet. "She's being prepped for surgery," the nurse explained. "It will take a few hours. We will update you." Daniel held his chest and exhaled heavily. Her father leaned against the wall, trying to collect himself. "Can we see her?" Daniel asked. "Just for a moment," the nurse replied. We followed her to a small room where Anna lay connected to IV fluids. She looked fragile but peaceful. Daniel immediately went to her side and held her hand. Anna opened her eyes slowly. "You're here?" he whispered. "Always." I stood beside them, my heart swelling with both love and fear. But before we could say more, the hospital door suddenly swung open. A man in a suit walked in, holding a clipboard. He looked serious, too serious. "Anna's family?" he asked. "Yes," I said. He handed us a document. "You need to sign the surgery approval, and," he paused, "the payment agreement." No one moved. Daniel reached for the paper, but Anna's father snatched it first. "What is this amount?" he shouted. "This is robbery." The amount was huge. Even I felt a shock. "Sir," the man said calmly, "the cyst is large and complex. The surgery requires senior specialists, imaging, anesthesia, post-op care." "No!" Anna's father roared. "I will not pay a single rupee. This is all because of them." He pointed at me and Daniel. Daniel clenched his jaw. "This isn't about us. It's about Anna." "I don't care," he thundered. "She wouldn't have run away if you hadn't poisoned her mind. She wouldn't need surgery if she had stayed home. This mess is your fault." Anna heard everything. Her eyes filled with tears. "Papa, please," she whispered. But he wasn't listening. I stepped forward. "You should be ashamed," I said quietly but firmly. "Your daughter is fighting for her life, and all you care about is your pride." He glared at me, his face red with anger. "I raised her. I fed her. I gave her everything." "You gave her fear," I replied. "Not love, not freedom, not support." For a moment, he froze. The truth had landed right in his heart, but his pride refused to let him bend. "I won't pay," he repeated coldly. "Do whatever you want." And then he walked out. Anna sobbed softly. Daniel held her hand tighter. I felt rage burning inside me. "Don't cry, Beta," I whispered. "We're here. We won't leave you." Daniel turned to me helplessly. "Mom, we don't have this kind of money." "I'll arrange it," I said without hesitation. "How?" he asked. "I'll sell something. My gold. Whatever it takes." He stared at me with wide, emotional eyes. "You'd do that for us?" "For family," I whispered. "Always." But just as we breathed in relief, the nightmare wasn't over. The hospital twist. The same suited man returned. "Sorry to interrupt. There's a problem." Daniel stiffened. "What now?" "We cannot proceed with surgery yet." "Why?" I demanded. He hesitated. "Because someone from outside called and attempted to block the procedure." "What?" Daniel shouted. My heart almost stopped. "Who called?" I asked sharply. The man checked his note. "Her legal guardian." Anna gasped. "Papa, no! No, he wouldn't." But he would. He already abandoned her financially. Now he was trying to stop her surgery. "Why would he do that?" Daniel yelled. The administrator sighed. "He said he doesn't approve of any medical decisions being made without him. Legally, he has a say." I felt cold anger rise inside me. "That man is destroying his own daughter," I shouted. The administrator continued. "We cannot proceed with surgery unless 1. The guardian signs the approval, Or 2. The guardian is proven unfit or uninvolved. Or 3. The patient signs for herself. We all looked at Anna. She whispered, "I'll sign. I'm an adult. I have the right." But the administrator shook his head. Her father filed a dependent status affidavit last year for insurance reasons. Legally, she is still under his authority. Anna burst into tears. Daniel punched the wall in frustration. "Then what are we supposed to do?" he cried. "We need the father's written permission." I felt my anger boil into something fierce. "Then we'll get it," I said without hesitation. Confrontation, round 2. We found Anna's father outside the hospital, pacing and muttering angrily. Daniel marched straight toward him. "Why did you block the surgery?" he shouted. "I'm her father. I decide." "She will die if you don't approve it." "That's not my problem," he barked. I slapped him. The sound echoed through the parking lot. Everything went silent. "You don't deserve to be called a father," I said, my voice trembling with rage. "You think she's safe with you people?" he growled. "She's safer with us," I replied. "She married without my permission." "She married because she was terrified of you." He staggered back, as if hit again, but this time by the truth. Moments passed. Then his shoulders dropped, his face softened. For the first time, he looked defeated. "What if something happens to her?" he whispered, voice breaking. "She needs you to sign, not as a dictator, but as a father." He looked away, eyes filling with tears. Then, slowly, he nodded. "I'll sign," he whispered. Daniel exhaled in relief. We rushed back inside. He signed the papers with shaking hands. The surgery was authorized. Doctors moved fast. Nurses rushed to prepare the operating theater. Anna was taken away on a stretcher. Before she disappeared behind the doors, she looked at her father. He whispered, "I'm sorry." She smiled weakly. Then the doors closed, and the surgery began. Anna's life was now in the hands of the doctors. But destiny still had one more twist waiting for her. A twist no one was prepared for. The red light above the operation room door glowed like a burning warning. Daniel and I stood silently, waiting, listening, praying. Anna's father sat alone in a corner, his eyes swollen, his shoulders trembling. For the first time since I met him, the man looked truly broken. Not angry, not controlling, just a father terrified of losing his child. Leo arrived with food, but no one could eat. 2 long hours passed, then 3, then 4. Every minute felt like a knife cutting deeper into our chests. Finally, the light turned off. The door opened. A senior surgeon stepped out. Daniel rushed forward. "Doctor, is she okay?" The doctor removed his mask, took a deep breath, and smiled softly. "She survived," he said. "The surgery was successful." Daniel burst into tears. I grabbed his arm to steady him. Anna's father slid down the wall, crying silently. But the doctor continued. "It was very close. The cyst was minutes away from rupturing. If she had arrived later, she might not have made it." I felt my knees weaken. Daniel hugged me tightly. I held him, thanking God under my breath. "You can see her soon, but she'll be weak. Please be gentle." We nodded gratefully. The first visit. When we entered the recovery room, Anna lay under warm blankets, her face pale but peaceful.
Daniel went straight to her side and kissed her forehead. Her eyes fluttered open. "You made it," he whispered. She managed a tiny smile. "Because you were here." I gently held her hand. "You're safe now," I whispered. "The worst is over." Anna looked around the room until her eyes found her father. He stood frozen at the doorway, unsure whether he had the right to step closer. Anna lifted her weak hand toward him. "Papa." He hesitated, then slowly walked to her bedside. He knelt down, head bent, unable to speak through his tears. "I'm sorry," he whispered, voice shaking. "I was stubborn, blind, selfish. I almost lost you." Anna wiped his tears with her thumb. "I never wanted to fight you. I just wanted to live, to choose my life." "I know," he sobbed, "and I didn't let you." He looked at Daniel. You saved her. I misjudged you." Daniel swallowed hard. "I just love her." Her father nodded and placed his hand on their joined hands. For the first time, there was peace. Not perfect, not complete, but real. A new beginning. Anna spent a full week in the hospital. We stayed with her in shifts, Daniel day, me afternoon, her father night. Her father changed completely during that week. He started helping nurses, bringing Anna food, speaking softly, even apologizing repeatedly. One morning, as I walked into her room, Anna smiled. "Something happened last night." "What happened, Beta?" "Papa said something I never heard him say before." She paused, eyes shining. "He said, 'I'm proud of you.'" A tear slipped from her eye, and mine too. Discharge day. The doctor came in with final reports. She's healing well, but she must avoid stress, heavy work, or emotional pressure. Anna looked at her father with a shy smile. He chuckled. "I will listen to the doctor too." Daniel hugged her gently, lifting her just enough to rest her head on his shoulder. "You're coming home with us," he said softly. Anna's father didn't interrupt this time. Instead, he nodded. "You both can stay together. No more fights from me." Anna gasped. "Really?" "Yes. You're married. It's time I accepted that." Anna's eyes filled with tears again. Happy ones this time. The family dinner. 2 days after she returned home, I invited Anna's father for dinner. At first, Daniel hesitated. "Mom, are you sure?" "Yes," I said, with a smile. Healing doesn't happen alone. It happens together. When her father arrived, he brought a small box. I bought something for you both," he said, awkwardly. Anna opened it. Inside was a pair of simple gold wedding rings. "I didn't give you a wedding, but I want to give you at least this." Anna hugged him tightly. Daniel placed a hand on his shoulder. "Thank you, sir." Her father cleared his throat. "You can call me Abu." Daniel blinked in shock. "Are you sure?" "I am," he replied. Daniel smiled. Then, "Thank you, Abu." Everyone laughed, even through tears.